there will be sacrifices that you will have to make. What are you going to do about it? Hello. Still dark outside, 6:25 a.m. I'll catch up with you guys later. Editing system's up, coffee's good to go. Bam, get to work. Sun's out, guns out. Yeah. Time is now 8:19 a.m. Second cup of coffee and also my beloved Reese's peanut butter cups. Just banged out a scene for the film. All we have. I don't know, I kind of felt, oh, and today's President's Day, so here's kind of what kicked off this whole thing of wanting to do a video before I run off to get ready for work. It's President's Day. A lot of people I know, a lot of you are going to be at home. A lot of you enjoyed the day with your families, and I'm happy for that. For me, it's another day of work, but that's okay because I'm going on like 17 years now doing this in the TV industry, so no biggie. But that brought me to the point of sacrifice. I mean, in content creation, there's going to be sacrifice whether or not you like it, because content creation, what's funny is that it doesn't tell you openly. Filmmaking doesn't tell you openly that there will be sacrifice that's required of you, that's necessary. And if you don't figure it out, that there will be sacrifice that is necessary, then you're not going to get too much done. In my case, I sacrifice every single day by getting up at like the ass crack of dawn, looking like ass, or at least I feel like I look like ass. You know, there's sacrifices that you have to make every single day. In my case, like I said, you know, sometimes it's 4 a.m., sometimes 5 a.m. Today was 6 a.m. Banging out a scene, trying to accomplish something before you run off to work. That's the other sacrifice. Blessed to have a job that I love, and I work, you know, and so this one time I had a shoot, and you know, in coordinating between the person that was able to hook me up with the location and a bunch of other coordinating, the only day that I was able to basically lock in for this one location in particular was on a holiday, shall we say. And one person said, well, you know, but I've got a tradition with my kids that day, and you know, I can't, or you know, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, all of a sudden it's an inconvenience. All of a sudden filmmaking is an inconvenience. Frankly, I wouldn't have cared if it was Christmas. Not that I like to try to ruin everyone's, you know, holidays and whatnot, but that was the sacrifice in this case. That was a sacrifice that had to be made. And so not every day is going to be sexy, not every shoot's going to be sexy. There will be sacrifices that have to be made, and it's not a question of whether or not those sacrifices are going to be necessary and if you're going to be able to identify what those sacrifices will be, but it's a question of are you going to recognize that and roll with it to get things done, or are you going to be like, oh shit, maybe this isn't for me, you know, and you don't play like, oh, I can't do this. Of course you can do this. Everyone can do this, but what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to, what are you willing to give up, you know, to make sure that the job gets done? For me, I give up sleep in the morning. For me, I give up maybe some a little quality time with my wife in the evenings. There's going to be sacrifices. It's not going to be pretty, and that is the aspect of, you know, why I'm always talking about, you know, when the red carpets are rolled up and the lights are off, when it's not sexy. And ironically enough, you know, Hollywood and filmmaking or whatnot, not that I'm not a part of Hollywood, but ironically enough, the glitz and the glamour and the sexy side is actually a fraction of, you know, the time, because the majority of the time is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of unsexy stuff that no one wants to do, sacrifices that people understand, like, oh, okay, this is what it's really about, this is how it gets done. But ironically enough, also like, you know, the glitz and the glamour and the sexiness of filmmaking and content creation is, it's the thing that dominates. And I understand that, but I always like to stay grounded in the reality of, okay, but what it's really about is work. And so there will be sacrifices that are required of you. It's not whether or not you're gonna have to sacrifice your time or, you know, in any way, shape, or form. Phone's blown up. All right, some YouTube notifications. What's funny about sacrifices is, let's go back to that part that I was saying, like, you know, sacrifices are never gonna knock on your door like boom, boom, boom. Hi, I'm here, here's what you have to do. Like, no, you're gonna have to take stock of your day, your hours, what you have to work with, the resources, the time, the gear, the people. You're gonna have to take stock of your situation and realize like, oh, okay, like, here's what I have to do. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to make sacrifices? Now, in the case of today, like President's Day, I'm gonna go to work. That's work. That's a given. That I'm gonna be, I work in the news industry. I'm gonna be working on holidays, sometimes weekends. I used to work a lot of weekends back in the day. A lot of times the overnight shift, which is a really brutal schedule. So that's all a given. You know, that's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And again, I'm grateful to have a job, but you know, the other sacrifices that I have to build around that in order to make my content. I mean, you know, I could veg out, watch some Netflix, or, you know, I could go, like, I could do a million other things, you know what I mean? But I got to get this movie done. I got to get this movie made. This is how it's happening. And, you know, again, this is not, you know, like, ooh, poor Edgar, that type of, like, that's not what I'm going for at all. I hate when, you know, I hate when I sound like that, which is why I bring it up, because I hate like, you know, oh, okay, I'm bringing up the things that I have to do, and, you know, like I'm trying to pat myself on the back. It's not the point. The point is, this is what it is. And in this case, the topic of the video, sacrifices, like whether or not you're gonna make the sacrifices. I'm gonna chug some coffee here. Ah, that's good. Sacrifices, are you willing to make them? Or, you know, let's say you start up a project, and then afterwards, and I've seen this happen to a filmmaker or two throughout my years of making films in the trenches. You know, then I think what happens in one case in particular was that one filmmaker in particular realized, like, holy stuff, this is a lot of work. This is like a lot. Maybe this person realized, like, wow, this is, and I forgot if it was a feature or a short, but maybe the person was like, wow, this is like a lot of work or whatnot. And I was rooting for this person. I was rooting for their project. I was even on set one day. And it just kind of like disappeared. I wanted to see him succeed in that project. And so I don't know if it was, you know, the lack of sacrifices or whatnot, but it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice and a really, really deep level of looking into yourself at a very deep level to seeing, okay, do I really want to make the sacrifices necessary to make this movie come to life? Especially when no one's paying you, especially when no one's making you make movies, because hopefully you're making them because you need to make it. Especially, oh, here's the big one, especially when money's coming out of your pocket to make a movie. When you're up against all those things, are you gonna make the sacrifices necessary to see it through? Because it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice. You guys ask my wife, like, how many days I'm here in my little editing man cave, or whatever we want to call it, my office. And I would rather be, you know, going out to, I don't know, the mall or something with her. You know, I'd rather be doing something else. $8:30. My point is that I'd rather be doing a whole slew of other things. But guess what? Suck it up. Not just for me, but, you know, this applies to me too. But it's gonna take sacrifice. And I don't bring this up again, like boo, poor Edgar, and oh, wah, like that's not the point. The point, or for anybody else for that matter, like the point is that this is just the reality. This is just cold, hard facts. Sacrifice. You're gonna make those sacrifices. Are you gonna take stock of the sacrifices that you have to make? And then are you willing to make those sacrifices to see your thing through? I mean, that's what's gonna get it done. And that's what's gonna make you stand apart from everyone else. That's why you hear all these stories of like, you know, we hear the like LeBron or Michael Jordan. I think it was Michael Jordan, where like, you know, we've all heard that story of where no one, you know, he was already big in the world of basketball, and no one made him get up at like 4 a.m. to go to practice, because I think he joined, I think it was like the White Sox. I'm not a sports guy, so, you know, don't crucify me if I just screwed that up. Anyway, he went into baseball. You guys know what I mean. Like, we've all heard that story where like no one makes these people get up at the crack of dawn and take like 400 or 1,000 shots into the basket, you know, just to keep themselves refined, fresh, and going. You know, it's that shit, you know, it's that stuff that I'm really talking about. So are you going to take stock of the sacrifices, you know, and reverse engineer? Okay, like, here's my goal, here's what I need to do to get to that goal, here are the sacrifices I need to make to do the things that I need to do to get to that goal. Are you going to make them? Are you going to make those sacrifices? You know, and don't be accountable to me either. Like, I'm not trying to judge anyone out here. If anyone, I'm trying to judge myself, because I expect a lot out of myself. But don't think I'm trying to judge anyone here, any of you guys. I just want to know, what do you guys think? What do you guys feel with regard to, you know, you guys having to make sacrifices? What kind of sacrifices do you make? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know how you go about it. I'm always down to learn from you guys also, about, you know, how you guys go about making sacrifices, or if you guys have ever heard, on the flip side, if you guys have ever heard of, you know, people that are just like, yeah, I don't want to do this shit because like it's inconvenient, or the sacrifices or whatnot, you know what I mean? Let me know in the comments below. You guys, as you guys saw or heard, it's 8:30, got to get ready to go to work. I love you guys all. I will talk to you guys later. If you guys haven't done so, please hit subscribe, and also the little bell, that way you're notified next time I make a new video. Pick your poison with all of the links in the socials below. Bam. And if you guys have a higher power, consult your higher power. If not, cool, run out there, do your thing, tell your stories, even if it's with no money. Even better with no money. Don't ask for anyone's blessing, anyone's permission, other than your higher power, your true higher power. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Adios.